Sleep Token's second album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb, continues the haunting story that we began on their debut album. This one has some incredible tracks that I obsess over, and the lore only gets deeper as we progress through this album. So join me as we plummet to new lows, witnessing Vessel struggling to cope with his relationship once again. Before we get into this, we do have a little bit of housekeeping to go through. First, a quick disclaimer, this video is going to cover some very sensitive topics, including ending your existence and hurting your body. If you're having thoughts of any of these topics, there are some resources in the description for support and help. I'll also add warnings on the songs with these topics so you can skip them if they're a little bit too close to home for you. Also, if you've been here before, yes, I've broken this down once already. However, my perspective has shifted and I've noticed new details with a little help from the comments that I can't wait to share with you all. Finally, before we begin, if you could subscribe and leave a like, it would mean the world. And without further ado, let's get right into this as we begin with Atlantic. We enter this album on a gentle piano intro, immediately transporting us right back into the story. Call me when they bury bodies underwater. It's blue light over murder for me. We are straight into the sensitive topic, as this song depicts a failed attempt at Vessel taking his life. To me, the blue lights over murder are the ambulance on the way to the hospital. We also have the introduction of a new metaphor we visit a lot on this album. If you can't tell by the album artwork, we're going to get a lot of metaphors about water. From oceans to flooding and even drowning, expect to see it all. For now though, this metaphor could also be very literal, of him looking upwards from being underwater. Crumble like a temple built from future daughters to wasteland when the oceans recede. These lines are a symbol of how fragile imaginary futures are. In this case, the imagined future is with someone that doesn't exist yet. What is crumbling, you may ask? The prospect of a relationship with the side of his lover that loves him back. Merry in the morning, earn your bitter fodder. It's easier to try not to eat. This is brutal. Vessel doesn't want to believe he is worthy of living a happy life. Instead, he thinks it's easier to just give up on life, which couldn't be further from the truth. There's always a path out of the darkness. So flood me like Atlantic, bandage up the trenches, anything to get me to sleep. Vessel has no hope here. He just wants everything to wash over him, to not feel what she is doing to him. Bandaging up the trenches here is describing bandaging his wounds in the ambulance. These are clearly some very deep wounds given they are being called trenches. I woke up surrounded, eyes like frozen planets just orbiting the vacuum I am. They talk me through the damage, consequence, and how it's a pain they know they don't understand. Here we have the scene at the hospital. Vessel is waking up in the bed, seeing himself surrounded by doctors and those who he loves after such a tragic incident. The key part here is the acceptance of them all knowing they don't understand what he's going through, but they still want to help. Sobbing as they turn to statues at the bedside, I'm trying not to crush into sand. The first line here is alluding to time freezing when you're faced with such a heartbreaking situation. The crushing once again here is linking back to that weakness, as Vessel tries to hold it together in front of everyone. So flood me like Atlantic, weather me to nothing, wash away the blood on my hands. Even after this attempt, Vessel still wants to feel nothing. He just wants to move on. After these lyrics we have a pause, where we hear wails that sound like a siren over that ever-present gentle piano. After around 15 seconds though, the piano comes to an abrupt halt. A deep synth surges through and this song's taken up a notch. The deep synth has some higher pitched synths layered on top, with more of those siren wails joining shortly after. Then finally, after all the building, the track comes to its climax, and we get our breakdown. The lyrics and music built individually on this track, giving you time to process and feel both of them in their own right. We now get a repetition of the opening 4 lines of this track over that heavier instrumental, really hammering home how Vessel's feeling at the beginning of this track. Just in case that isn't enough, the repeated outro seals Vessel's current state of mind. Don't wake me, don't wake me. Don't wake me up. Don't you wake me up. Vessel is begging not to be woken up and taken back to reality. Is a key change at the end here, as it switches to don't you wake me up. He doesn't want to return to reality as it is, but especially not if it's her dragging him right back into her trap all over again. Sleep Token follow up Atlantic with one of the heaviest songs in the album, and the themes and the lyrics are just as heavy as the music behind it. Lift me out of my own skin, of all my doubt, and take from me, leave nothing left, take everything. If you watched the first video on Sundowning, you'll know this is a common theme. Once again, we are back at Vessel asking her to take everything and anything she wants from Vessel, regardless of the cost to him. Vessel is really highlighting just how little he really values himself, and it's tough to witness. Sink your teeth, split my skin, no, just make me bleed. Another callback to a theme from Sundowning, however, in a different context. Instead of a playful nibble, this is more of a vicious tear, like a wild animal feasting on its prey. Oh, and give me all that I want. Just give me all. Vessel just wants her to give in and allow him to fade away from the life that has given him so much pain. This leads us into the chorus where we really see the chokehold this woman has on Vessel. It's a simple yet effective one, just repeating one line over and over. You know you hypnotise me. Always. The repetition here guarantees that this one hits home. Vessel is desperately feeding her ego by admitting the influence that she has, and always will have, on him. With every repetition, the music keeps building more and more. The climax arrives as the repetitions take a back seat and the music steps things up a gear. Taking the reins is the bridge, with the chorus repeating in the background. And you make it more than I could ever feel before. Vessel is exasperated and overwhelmed by how she makes him feel, both in a good way and a bad way. Vessel describes it best in the final line of the track though, as he harshly screams out, "And I am almost under." He isn't surviving or thriving right now, he is drowning. Right back at another one of those water metaphors I mentioned before. The harsh vocal is matched musically as we get a gorgeous heavy breakdown. After around a minute, the heavy instrumentals cut and we are left with some soft, ethereal synths seeing us out of this track. This is another one of these sleep token tracks that's longer in length but not in lyrics. It doesn't feel empty or like it's filler though, it's just paced perfectly. You have the slowly delivered lyrics matching with a song that just keeps building and you're left with a masterpiece. We'll leave this frustration here for now though, as we progress into the next track with a bit of a different vibe. This story is getting brutal, as we are watching Vessel repeatedly make the same mistake over and over. I have waited, paralysed by my own will, viciously reminding me still. Here Vessel is reflecting on the past, and how he still feels stuck. He feels like he cannot progress in life without some clarity. He wants to know if he's in a relationship with her, or to have the clarity of knowing it's definitely not happening. Instead, he's left with this awkward in and out hokey cokey they have going on. I'm born to believe, and I am certain no, that you and I are crashing course, driven by a holy force. Here, we have even more delusion. Vessel believes that no matter what, the universe will bring them together and they will be one. I know you can see that you will be mine. Yeah, you will be mine. This might be the most simple chorus I will ever have to cover, but there's a reason why I'm bringing it up. Here we actually see Vessel being a bit toxic and possessive, with a very affirming statement that she will be his. Doesn't sound like she has much of a say in this one, but we all know who has the power here. Immediately after that final line of the chorus, the instruments kick in, with a heavy synth and wailing electronics smashing their way through. After we're taken on that brief rollercoaster ride instrumentally, they cut once more, and we have our second verse. We balance fire in the earth we walk, will never stop me reaching forth to see you again. There's a clear determination from Vessel to be with her, and he won't let anything get in his way. Just like in Sundowning, this is actually quite romantic, and the second half of the verse backs this up. With colours over all the wasted years, eternity will bring you near. I know you can see, I know you can see. Vessel sees his lover as bringing light and colour to his previously dark and bland life. He believes that feelings becoming mutual is inevitable, it's merely a matter of when, not if. Vessel also knows that she can see they're meant to be together, as these lines transition perfectly into the chorus once again. This time, instead of a drop coming right at the end of the chorus, it comes at the start. Along with this chorus being heavier, it's now repeated 7 times, instead of just the 2 which we saw earlier in the track. After this chorus, we get our bridge, which gives a key insight into Vessel's mind. Did you not say we were made for each other? This right here is rough, as she is Vessel doubting himself. He thought that she was as into it as he was, but that's never been the case. This is either Vessel overestimating his importance or more masterful manipulation from the lover here. Either way, it's brutal, as you can feel Vessel's pain on this one. This is where the song structure gets a little bit funky, as we now get a repetition of the first verse, but with that heavier instrumental in the background. After this, the music cuts one final time as we get some final repetitions of the chorus to see us out. Vessel has really tried to stamp his beliefs on this track, but somehow for me, it still feels gentle and caring. I can't say that much for the next track. Next up, we have Like That. And the drug that is her is not quite hitting as hard as it used to. You can hear this in a more aggressive retort from Vessel on this track. Trapped under the surface of your words, there is a new intention. The drowning metaphor is back once again. The new intentions he speaks of here is what I was referencing before. That allure beginning to fall and reality setting in. New whispers which once could not be heard, catching your intention. Vessel is picking up more and more to confirm these thoughts he's having. He's finally choosing to acknowledge her intentions, which is the part he's been ignoring until now. Wait, talking with razors on your tongue just to provoke my combat. New weapons to snap those final strings just to watch me fall back. Vessel's lover is manipulating him into fighting with her. Her sole intention here is to hurt him, often in new ways he is yet to see. The fighting and hurting him just seems to give her life for some sick, twisted reason. The chorus on this track is an interesting one, as it's one simple line repeated, but as we progress, there's more to it. Do you like that? This first chorus has the line repeated twice normally, with it whispered in the background another 4 times. The woman is provoking Vessel once more, taunting him by asking if he likes her hurting him. The saddest part is, she knows fine well he isn't going to do anything about it, even if he doesn't like it. The music steps up a gear as the electronic drum gives way for the faster acoustic drums, over the same deep synth we've had the whole time. Push down into membranes and layers, creating a slow dissection. I stumble into your tar trap, an addition to your collection. The woman has allowed Vessel in a little bit more than she intended here. Sure, Vessel is still falling for her traps, but for once, he is also winning here. Vessel recognises this as her second repetition of the chorus sees its meaning change, as well as a huge jump in intensity. The chunky metal riffs crash through as Vessel once again asks, do you like that? This time it's repeated 4 times at the front of the mix, with 2 whispered in the back, blended in. Instead of it being his lover, this is actually Vessel asking if she likes the fact that they're getting a little closer than she may have wanted. He's found some confidence in the fact she's falling into his trap a little too. Fall into your eyes like a grave, bury me to the sound of your name, all your pain. Vessel is finally seeing the real her, the broken woman behind the monster he has fallen for. There's a lot going on in the background here as well. All that's inside, all your anger, all your disgust, all your resentment, all your differences, all your pain. Vessel is really highlighting the clarity he has right now, as he finally sees who she really is, and he only has one question for her. One final time, Vessel asks, do you like that? The delivery of this is angry and almost spiteful, as he's really pushing for an answer to the question this time. Does she really like the person she has become? Is this all she wanted in life? Has she gone too far to even care? The most interesting note to end on here is just a little reminder that Vessel is consistently asking himself these questions too. This album has been building and building, but the confidence is about to give way to more desperate pleas, as we have the love that you are. This track used to be my favourite and is still up there, but another track has bubbled to the top for me. You'll need to wait and see what that is. For now, let's get a look at how the love you want sits in our story, shall we? You lie an inch apart on your own continuum. Now keep the freak show talk to a careful minimum. This is one of my favourite openings to a Sleep Token track. While the markers along a continuum may be close to each other, the poles are incredibly distinct. This is highlighting the loving, caring woman who lures him in, and the manipulative monster who hurts him so badly. Vessel is being strong here though, basically telling her to cut the nonsense and be real with him on this one. I'll find a different harbour to lay my anchor in, and you'll find a different way to keep from setting sail again. No. I love this metaphor. Vessel is shooting straight here, telling her that he is willing to move on and find someone else to invest his energy into. He shows some real strength by calling her out too. He believes that if he were to do that, she would just stagnate and find another vessel to barely survive on. This strength takes an interesting twist as we head into the chorus. But I'm still full of the love you want, still waking up beneath it all, and I'm still full of the love you want, I reach for you on faith alone. This chorus is Vessel's big statement. Despite how he's opened the song, he's still full of love for her. He knows there is no evidence at all she will take him up in the offer. Even though Vessel has seen the real her, he's still extending a hand as an offering to pull her from the darkness that she is in. This is especially sweet given we all know Vessel has plenty of his own issues to deal with. Seems your heart is locked up and I still get the combination wrong. Or are you simply waiting to save your love for someone I am not? Here Vessel is clearly recognising that she's closed off to his love, and no matter what, he can't seem to break down that door. What's more interesting is Vessel is asking the question to if it's just him that she can't love. That kind of question can destroy somebody if it doesn't go the way they hope. So for Vessel's sake, let's hope that doesn't happen. Too many swallowed keys will make you bleed internally someday. Maybe you believe that in the end you'll be better off that way. Another incredible metaphor to fall in love with here, about how pushing all her feelings down will catch up with her in the end. Sleep also believes in a delusional way that it will be for the best for her to continue this way, instead of opening up and letting someone in. The chorus returns, but this time it's longer than before. It begins the same as before with an I'm still full of the love you want, still waking up beneath it all, and I'm still full of the love you want, I reach for you and faith alone. However, instead of ending, it continues with and I'm still full of the love you want, still waking up so alone, and I'll be full of the love you want no matter what, forevermore. Vessel feels it most when he wakes up in the morning, but still lets her know that he will love her unconditionally forever. In most contexts, this would be incredibly romantic and cute, but in this one, it's just sad. Just in case it isn't sad enough, we get to the bridge, which is some very simple yet desperate begging from Vessel. And I'm still full of the love you want. This is just repeated 8 times, as Vessel will do anything to ensure she knows that he has everything she needs, if she's just willing to take him in. The music gets more and more desperate along with these pleas, until it cuts, and we are left with our closing lyrics. You lie an inch apart on your own continuum, now keep the freak show talk to a careful minimum. Once again, we have a perfect cycle, both musically and lyrically. Vessel has gained absolutely nothing from this track. He has tried everything he can to convince her here, with no reply. Will she finally give in and let Vessel love her, or will the vicious cycle continue like it has? Vessel may have done well in making his case on that last track, but unfortunately, those desperate pleas that crept back in are where we continue from here. In a city of ice, there are burning cathedrals, turning the skies into glass. The amazing metaphors are not letting up. This time, we have Vessel referencing how she's typically so cold with him, but shows him just enough warmth to keep him on this leash she has him tethered to. And through the echoing futures are the buckling sutures that hold shut the wounds from the past. Vessel has been trying to hold it back, but his previous trauma is starting to burst through. So won't you fall for me, won't you fall for me? Through a fractured existence, won't you fall for me? Won't you fall for me from reality? To the rhythm of eternity, won't you fall for me? This is brutal. You can feel the desperation pulsing through every fibre of his being. Any strength Vessel had is completely gone, and he is back, grovelling at her feet all over again. My insecurities surround me like lions in the den, and I feel like I'm losing touch of what I am again. Slowly I remember why I cannot pretend that I never think of you in all this screaming silence. Vessel is crazily dependent on this woman for any kind of happiness or self-value. It's heartbreaking to witness. The man just wants to be loved. Oh God, I wish you were here. If you want a summary of where Vessel's head is at, the single line and how it is delivered is perfect. You can feel Vessel's pain and frustrations all come out as he cries this line out into the void. He just wants to be with her. It's painfully simple. We're treated to 2 more repetitions of that brutal chorus to see us out of this track, and it just hurts more and more every time he sings it. If you want even more heartbreak from this track, there's a music video too. The music video only amplifies the heartbreak, not in relation to this story, but a tearjerker in its own right. If you've made it this far, you're clearly in as deep as both Vessel and myself at this point, so you might as well subscribe while you're with us. It means the world, and it helps keep these breakdowns coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss the rest of this one, as the best of this album is yet to come, starting with Alkaline. Alkaline is arguably the most popular and well-known song of This Place Will Become Your Tomb. It's packed with Easter eggs which we will unwrap as they appear. This song presents itself as a love song, but in reality, this track is reaffirming just how all over the place she is. Every once in a while something changes, and she's changing me. It's too late for me now, I am altered, there's something beneath. She is taking everything that made Vessel who he is, and what's left is a shell of his former self, the person we know he misses dearly. A key part in this opening verse is it's too late. This is the acceptance from Vessel that he is past the point of no return. He knows he is in too deep. She's not acid nor alkaline, caught between black and white, not quite either day or night, she's perfectly misaligned. A killer chorus, and those Easter eggs I mentioned have arrived. Strap in everybody, chemistry class is in session. If something is neither acidic nor alkaline, it is neutral. On a pH scale which runs from 0 to 14, neutral would be 7, and this is track 7 on the album. Consider your mind blown. Alright, lessons over, school's out, let's get back to the song. Here, Vessel can't quite figure out what to make of her, particularly divided between his love for her and the hurt that she makes him feel. He's stuck in the middle, just like this song is on the album. The day and night is also a little callback to Sundowning. So much in just a few simple lines. I'm caught up in her design and how it connects to mine. I see in a different light the object of my desire. He's still trying to figure her out and how to be in a relationship with her. Unfortunately for him, it's proving to be more of a labyrinth than a maze. In the process of doing so, he's continually seeing her in a different light. He doesn't mention if it's a positive or a negative light though. He's clearly stranded in the ocean that is this woman. Let's see if he can find any land. A pause in the lyrics falls after the chorus, as we are introduced to a rap style beat, and as the second verse kicks in, some metal infused instrumentals join over the top. Oh, let's talk about chemistry, because I'm dying to melt through to the heart of her molecules, to the particles part like holy water. Here we are again, with Vessel making his intentions very clear. We have a cheeky double meaning of chemistry here, going from science to relationships. The key part is he wants to find the path to her heart and leave his mark on it so that she feels the same way he does. If anything, she's an undiscovered element, either born in hell or heaven sent. Either way, I'm into it. Vessel is understanding both more and less about her the more time that they spend together. Regardless of this, he knows he is into her, whether she is an angel or the devil. He's in too deep now, and he knows it. This takes us into 2 more repetitions of the chorus to finish the track lyrically, but there's a minute left and we all know what that means. It's time for a classic Sleep Token breakdown, and this one is incredible. The heavy gent instrumental powers its way through and dominates the closing of this track. Now this one's interesting. Is this a track where the sound does a lot of the storytelling in the absence of many lyrics? Somehow, even then, there's still plenty to catch in what few lyrics there are in this one. I can tell I'm falling further again, but I won't turn away, it's too late for me. As bleak as Vessel's situation may have seemed over the past few songs, he's still slipping lower and lower. He's once again referencing how it is too late now. He's past the point of no return. Vessel has given up and is just accepting his fate as he's dragged deeper and deeper. There is an eerie calmness about how dire things have become, reflecting reflected in the lyrics and the slow delivery of them. Cause I am broken into fractions, oh and I am driven to distraction. She has broken him completely by this point, both physically and mentally. There doesn't seem to be much light at the end of Vessel's tunnel at the moment. It may not get better in the second verse, but we do get a quick glance back to the hopeless romantic Vessel once again. And I swear she is not like any other, no. Something more than I could ask for. Vessel has placed his lover right back on that pedestal he loves again, diminishing his own worth dramatically in the process. This takes us back to another repetition of the chorus, but this one has some extra lines. Cause I am broken into fractions, oh and I am driven to distraction. With each and every interaction, I am driven to distraction. This woman is driving Vessel insane. He can't shake his obsession with her at all. He sees her in everything he sees on a daily basis, but he still can't fully have her. He just wants her to commit to him. There's been a line echoing in the background a lot over this track, but I've saved it until now as it's all we have left. It's too late for me. There's one simple word for this. Acceptance. Vessel is accepting his fate. He's too far gone now. There's no coming back from this. Musically, this song is carried by the drums. The majority of the instruments in this one maintain a simple, consistent rhythm, meanwhile the emotion behind the track is largely derived from two cooking up a storm in the drums. Two is a critical component in a lot of Sleep Token's work, but this song in particular is definitely a highlight of his throughout the entire trilogy for me. And yes, I love me some drums. Yep, the title of this one's correct. We ain't done sinking yet, folks, so I hope you still got plenty of oxygen left in the tank. Just take it all for nothing again. Create, release, she just don't feel the same. I asked, and you answered, but you eat your words in frame. At last discover you can't recall my name. Hold up, Vessel's kinda coming out swinging here, opening up bitter about how she's treated him. Has Vessel finally established some sort of self-worth? Until I let you fall away, I've been left no choice. Don't you see that? Hold on a second. It seems as though Vessel is at the point where he's ready to let her go. He's pleading to her in the process as he explains his decision, but it seems like he finally has some strength. You come crawling back to me, but I'm already on the ground. And we all know that talk is cheap, so come on and save me now. As far as the chorus goes, this one is brutal. She's came back to him looking to take more again, but this time he hasn't even fully recovered from the previous time. Vessel's egging her on here, asking her to actually do something for him for once. And you wonder what I believe, but you don't want to be around. So what would you do for me? Yeah, what would you do for me? Vessel is so far gone he doesn't care anymore, and it's actually working for him. He snaps back at her, telling her she doesn't even have the time to get to know him. If she can't even spend proper time with him, how can she be anything else to him? It's great to finally see some semblance of fright from Vessel, but the real question is, can he keep it up as we head into the second verse? I won't repeat what I have said beforehand. My love withers and chokes in perfect awe. This is a little callback to The Love You Want, but in defiance from Vessel this time. He's refusing to put on a song and dance of exactly what he has to offer again. She knows, and it's there if she wants it. Why don't you just say what you wanted to say for once? This line is repeated in the background of the pre-chorus and chorus for the rest of the song, but it's again another sign of Vessel actually being strong. He's asking her to be straight up and honest with him. Tell him exactly what she wants and how she feels. Good on you, Vessel. This is a tougher one to place musically for me, but somehow it almost feels like we're deep underwater. The deep drums and synths make it feel like we have sank far down, but the lighter elements mimic the last glimmers of hope Vessel holds on to. He has fallen deep, but he's finally decided to see if he's able to swim. Let me know in the comments if you get that feeling too. Ladies and gentlemen, class is back in session once more. But this time, we have some biology instead of chemistry. This is a little bit more complicated than Alkaline, so hang in there with me on this one. Telomeres is a term in biology for a part of DNA, and their role is to protect regions of DNA from degradation. Promise that's us done with science for this video, but the ties into the story are a little vague at the moment. Until we dip into the lyrics. You guide me in to safety and silence. As you breathe me out, I drink you in. Wait, hold on. Have we missed a few songs here? Nope, you are hearing me correctly. The woman is now allowing Vessel in and keeping him safe for once. This was not on my tomb bingo card. And we go beyond the farthest reaches, where the light bends and wraps beneath us. I know as you collapse into me, this is the start of something. She's luring Vessel in here with exactly what he wants. You can't help but feel Vessel's relief as what might be my favourite ethereal guitar work of Sleep Token comes roaring through. In this moment, all of the pain, the hurt, the anguish, the frustration, it's all worth it just for this feeling. Rivers and oceans we could beckon, no. Your eyes and limbs are instruments to pick apart the distance within. This is finally it for Vessel. When they work together, Vessel firmly believes there's nothing they cannot conquer. He does place a lot of that power on her, but still within the context of them. Let the tides carry you back to me. The past, the future. Through death, my arms are open. Any of the bitterness or resentment that there was towards her in previous tracks has completely evaporated. As long as she floats back to Vessel, he will always be be there. Is this the love he's been longing for all along? It feels like it, as we get into a heavier rendition of the chorus, which feels like a huge release for Vessel. He finally got what he wanted. Everything's going to be okay now, right? So Vessel finally has what he wanted, but is he happy? For the time being, I will still avoid my own questions, and we both bury that history deep, but you know I can hold my breath forever. There doesn't seem to be a definitive answer to that question. He has his doubts, but he's willing to push them all aside in an attempt to make the relationship work. Let's be real though, they both know fine well that he isn't going to leave her regardless. For the time being, you're still a perfect reminder of what these scars on my arms are for, if I can hold myself together. This is a callback to the very beginning of the album, referencing the scars from when Vessel attempted to end it all. Vessel clearly still sees her as the woman who hurt him, but is holding on to the hope that it'll all be worth it now that he has her. And I choke myself in sacred vapour, waiting on some holy favour, basking in the solace of regret. Here we see the rose-tinted glasses cracking as he begins to see her for who she truly is. This goddess-like divinity is beginning to fade, and it seems my hell is your high water. Wash me clean again before I pull myself beneath the waves. The situations that are hurting Vessel the most are the ones that she's benefiting from the most. Vessel just wants a chance to catch his breath before she starts drowning him once again. What a chorus that is. And the second verse picks up right where that left off. When the mouth of infinity buries its teeth in me, I'll smile through the agony for you. And I know you still bear the weight of your own existence, and you'll never bear the weight of two. He's willing to go through absolutely anything for her. The issue is, he's also in acceptance that she's not willing to do the same, as she can barely support herself. This is starting to look bleak for Vessel, as another rendition of the chorus comes through, but heavier than the last. The music cuts immediately after the chorus though, as the lyrics of the third verse take the spotlight. For the time being, I will admit my defeat again. I will accept that I can't pretend we will ever be together. Vessel is accepting this just isn't going to work, and he's at the point where he can't even delude himself into believing it. All this hard work to get what he wanted on this album wasn't worth it in the end. All he's left with is pain. Once again, Sleep Token encapsulate the emotion of the moment with a devastating heavy metal instrumental after that verse. After a minute of this intensity, the track is topped off with Vessel screaming out into the void in anguish. I can't hold myself together. He is broken. Where does it go from here? We'll need to wait for the next album to find out. The incredible instrumental continues on for another minute before it fades out and leads us into the final track of this album. If you've made it this far, thank you and congratulations, because what a journey we have been on. It's time to see this album out in classic Sleep Token fashion. A summary of where we are in our story. Fair warning, this is one that will tug on the heartstrings, so have your tissues at the ready. Just let me know if nowadays the outer rounds of heaven don't keep up on the charm offensive anymore, failing to remind you what you're living for. Vessel has accepted to roll in this woman's life now. She goes away and does her goddess stuff and comes back to feed off Vessel whenever she isn't getting the kick she needs elsewhere. It is truly tragic for Vessel, who just wants to love and be loved. And I'd give anything to borrow your indifference, I'd drink you in, to temper your belief in all my promises, to swallow my desires and choke on it. He either wants her to end it, or for him to have the bottle to do it himself. The issue is that Vessel remains trapped, still desperate for that same love, because it still makes my blood run cold to remember what they did before, the stories that you never told to me. The parts of her that Vessel has seen terrifies him, but what terrifies him more is the understanding there's so much more he doesn't know. If this is what she's showing, what kind of monster is still buried inside? Oh bird, worry not, the blessings rain on battles in the heaven's arms. My polite advances won't last for long, the eager apprehension is wearing off. Vessel knows that there are many good moments blended into the bad. However, his want for this relationship they have is dwindling, and he can't fully cut the ties though, as he's in far too deep. I'd give anything to balance your conviction with certainty, to fall asleep without you lying next to me, to sever my connection with everything. He's so desperate for her to love him or leave him, or for everything to end. We're right back where we started this album all over again. Another perfect yet torturous cycle, cause it still makes my blood run cold to remember what I did before, the stories that you never told to me. This subtle change to the chorus is very important, as he goes from reflecting on her to reflecting on himself. Vessel is now looking back and regretting his actions that have led him to being in the position that he finds himself in now. It's one of those tough ones where it was within his control, but it's not entirely his fault either. And it still makes my blood run thin to remember what you are to him, and I live like I've got missing limbs for you. Whoa, plot twist at the very end? There's another guy? In my opinion, not really. I see Vessel making these scenarios up, imagining what could be happening when she's not with him. Vessel seems to believe some other guy's getting the best of her, and he is pitying himself for living at a disadvantage to this non-existent character. There is one final second meaning in here for me, and it's in the last line. There is a phenomenon that can happen to people who have lost limbs called phantom limb pain. This is where they experience excruciating pain where the limb used to be. For Vessel, the limb he feels like he is missing is her, and he feels that excruciating pain in his heart where he still has that space left for her. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, we have made it. This album has been an emotional roller coaster, and boy, I was feeling it too. Don't run away just yet though, as I will be covering all of Sleep Token's discography, including the first album, which you can see on screen now. If you've enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And let me know your favourite song off this album in the comments down below. Until next time, goodbye.